What is up, guys? Rick Kakas here, and today we are going to be showcasing a Colossus Javelin build within Anthem that functions pretty darn well in the endgame despite requiring basically nothing in terms of gear. There's only two Masterworks I'm going to be recommending, and really only one that you absolutely need to make this build function. So it's extremely easy if you are making your first few steps into the endgame to throw this build together. Now, just before we begin, guys, despite all of Anthem's problems, and admittedly there are definitely some, I'm still having fun within this game and I enjoy making these type of build videos. If you want to see more, please remember to support the video because I definitely am willing to make more. And let's get started here. So for the Colossus, and this is one of the classes you basically almost always just see storms running around, but if you do want to play Colossus and you want to have a lot of fun getting into enemies' faces and just cutting through enemies on Grandmaster 1 and even functioning pretty well in Grandmaster 2, that's what I'm mostly playing this build in at this point. Once I've upgraded it, this is what you need. It's the shocking Flamethrower build, so the first thing you're going to need is the Fist of the Crucible Flamethrower gear piece. This is absolutely the pinnacle piece of Masterwork gear for this build. If you don't have this, using a purple Flamethrower, it just will not be as good. With that being said, you've probably noticed that I have the legendary version of the Fist of the Crucible. Don't worry, that is not required. And in fact, if you look at my inscriptions, they're not that good. With the highlight being elemental plus 20% damage, you can get better rolls on purple epic gear pieces, so it's really not required to get a legendary. Masterwork should do. The perk here is what we're going for, Victor's Advantage. Defeating an enemy increases flamethrower damage by 30% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 5. So every time you end up killing an enemy with this skill, oh my goodness, the damage ramps up, making it easier to kill the next enemy and then the next enemy, and by the end, if you have all 5 stacks, you're going to be doing 150% more damage, which is absurd. Now, the next thing you require is your second skill, which is going to be a lightning coil. Now, I actually don't even have the Masterwork version of this. You're not using this for anything other than the fact that it's the best detonator for this build. The Flamethrower primes enemies super easily, but you have to remain close range in order to hit them with the Flamethrower, and the lightning coil pairs absolutely perfectly with the Flamethrower, and this is why we're running it. You can see from the gameplay what you can actually do. There's a cool combo between these two skills is use lightning coil, and while it's on and shocking any enemies within a pretty reasonable radius around your Colossus, you can at the exact same time be flamethrowering them with your Fist of the Crucible. So that means that you are priming and detonating and priming again and detonating again on enemies within a very short period of time, and it rips through groups of red bar enemies, like absolutely rips through them. The best part is that you're triggering so many combos that your ultimate recharges a lot faster because of combos. Heck, check out this gameplay from the Stronghold. I absolutely decimate all of these scorpions spawning right here with this combo, and I get my super back almost instantly. Like, it's ridiculous how often you'll have your ultimate up. So that is definitely the main combo and the focal point of this build, combining Flamethrower with Lightning Coil, getting you in the fray, close ranged enemies, and triggering just so many combos and inflicting a ton of damage over a large area, and really fantastically dealing with large groups of low-level adds which spawn very, very often. Now, the next Masterwork I would highly recommend is really just going to make your entire build so much more effective. And that is going to be this Catalytic Overdrive. Again, I was lucky, I got the legendary version, but if you look at the inscriptions, not that amazing. A Masterwork will do just fine. You're using this, well, frankly, mainly for the increased combo damage by 50%. You're detonating so many combos, but you are in the thick of it. You need your combos to do as much damage as possible to kill the enemies as quickly as possible, or frankly, they're going to overwhelm you and kill you. But also, this has the perk, detonating a combo increases ability damage by 40% for 20 seconds. This is where the build all comes together. You're detonating so many combos so easily, and then you're also getting more damage for that combos, and then because you're detonating so many combos, you basically always have this 40% damage boost up. And therefore, 40% to your Fist of the Crucible is going to let you kill guys. It's capable of doing 150% more damage, and then 40% on that. Like, the damage really adds up. By the end of it, you are just using almost just your flamethrower to kill most enemies, and then the elite enemies and stuff like that, you whip out your lightning coil to deal the extra damage from comboing, and also lightning coil itself inflicts damage. But remember, comboing on an enemy in Anthem often causes it to flinch. Sometimes they fall down and they won't be attacking you back. So you can get an extra buffer of resilience by triggering all these combos and just not having enemies attack you in your vicinity. But that is the pinnacle of this build. It's those three things. That one component to increase the combo damage, combined with lightning coil and flamethrower being ridiculously effective, triggering so many combos, inflicting so much damage. But there is a lot you can do to improve this build. Like, those three things will basically let you play Grandmaster 1 basically no problem, even strongholds in Grandmaster 1. But again, there's things you can do to vastly improve the potency of this build and then move into Grandmaster 2 and stuff like that. So firstly, you're looking for things that increase gear, elemental, combo, or fire damage. Perfect example is this component here, which increases lightning and fire damage by 35%. Well, my lightning coil and my flamethrower just got 35% better. Simple as that. So already that's a huge boost to your potency of this build. So just be on the lookout for inscriptions that increase those things. Now in terms of weapons I would recommend, well, my main weapon that I run with this build is this sniper rifle, the Wyvern Blitz. Now I use this because if you look at the inscriptions, we've got critical plus 25% damage and physical plus 150% damage. Amazing inscriptions, like one of my best rolled weapons I've gotten so far in this game. But the reason I'm using it is just because I need to use a weapon that outputs a lot of damage very quickly. Because with this build, you are doing flamethrowing, you are doing combos, you are doing electrocution, but against something like a Titan, like that does basically nothing. You flamethrowing a Titan is pointless. So you need a very high damage focus weapon like this sniper rifle to take down those type of enemies. Now, another thing you could use, this Fist of Straw Masterwork autocannon. It's going to increase its damage up to like 100% every time you get a hit, like super easy to get that bonus, and also it rolled with 75% increased damage. I could use this as well. Whatever weapon you have that just outputs raw damage, you are going to need again something like that to take down Titans, Ursics, those type of enemies, because the flamethrower lightning combo isn't great there. Another thing I would recommend, though, if you've got that covered, would be running this Marksman Rifle, the Thunderbolt of Yevenia. Now, the reason being is because its special effect is that it has a 33% chance to deal a large electric damage. And actually what this means is that when you're shooting an enemy, you're going to see thunderbolts rain down from the sky every so often. This gun absolutely shreds shields, like just cuts through shields on even the toughest legendary enemies, and therefore perfect for your build. Flame damage is terrible against shields. You won't even catch enemies on fire with shields. The lightning coil can definitely help whittle those shields down pretty quickly, but being able to take down shields with the Thunderbolt of Yevenia and then run in and start flamethrowing and doing your combos and stuff is often what you're going to need to take down more powerful enemies, especially if you're fighting like Scars, Dominion, Elementalists, stuff like that. Now, one more thing I want to mention for this build is that because you're so in the fray, you do need any help you can to increase your resilience, to increase the amount of damage you can take, and therefore put any masterwork components you have on for your Colossus. Now, this is something that newer players may not do initially, but you can have masterwork components that basically have no massive bonuses. For example, I'm running one on my Colossus right now that just makes it so that when I fall out of the sky, I create an explosion. Basically pointless, but if you look at the actual numerical values of what these Masterwork components provide, like if you look at the armor bonuses, they're in like the 10,000s, whereas an epic purple one may be 3,000. So yes, the one that you have that says increases armor, provides huge armor bonus for your javelin, but it's purple, it's only going to provide 3,000. The Masterwork component that has nothing to do with providing a bonus to resiliency, it just increases your electricity damage or increases whatever, that's going to provide like 10,000 armor. So that's just numerically better than keeping that purple on. So again, throw any Masterwork components on that you have, even if they don't benefit your build, just to get those massive resiliency bonuses. And so there we have it. That is the shocking flamethrower build. Again, it doesn't require much to make function, but there's a lot of things you can do to improve it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it interesting, found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. And if you guys want to see more Anthem content, be sure to subscribe. Now, if you want to keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.